Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program. And on behalf of Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina, it's a pleasure to be here today with my fellow highway safety advocates from Tennessee and across our home state to talk about the prevention of traffic crashes, reducing injuries, and reducing fatalities on our roadways, particularly as we highlight the tail of the dragon during Memorial Day weekend. North Carolina and Tennessee share many things along North Carolina's western border and the eastern one of Tennessee. First among these are wonderful vacation spots and mountain views that are not seen anywhere else in the world. After 18 long months, a lot of us are finally ready to vacation. And many of us this spring and summer are going to be vacationing in the mountains of western North Carolina and East Tennessee. As vacation time comes, it's important for us all to reacquaint ourselves with safe driving behaviors and know that safe driving laws will be enforced in both states, regardless of borders. Today, I'm proud to be here with many experts. The first one that I'd like to introduce now is my counterpart from the state of Tennessee, Mr. Buddy Lewis, who is the director of the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. And I'd like to call on him now to say a few words. Buddy?
Thank you, Director Ezell, and it is a pleasure to be with you here and everyone this morning. Today, Tennessee is joining North Carolina to promote our first border-to-border partnership. We are proud to have a strong representation today from the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the University of Tennessee Medical Center to help educate the public about traffic safety on the tail of the dragon ahead of our Memorial Day weekend. U.S. Highway 129, also known as the Tail of the Dragon, is a popular scenic stretch of roadway spanning from Blount County, Tennessee to Swain County, North Carolina, with many dangerous twists and curves, as we all know. As traffic continues to increase this summer, we are reminding all motorists to be careful and obey all traffic laws to prevent crashes and fatalities. Agencies located near the tail of the dragon on both sides of the state line are currently participating in a national enforcement mobilization called Click It or Ticket. The main focus of Click It or Ticket is to reduce traffic fatalities by increasing seatbelt usage through public education and seatbelt enforcement. However, participating agencies will also be on the lookout for dangerous driving behaviors such as speeding and drunk driving. We also ask the public, all we ask of the public is to comply with the laws, voluntary compliance. And parents, we do want to remind you to be certain to check your cars during the hot summer months for not to leave a child in the car, and because we all know during the heat and the hot summer temperatures, this can cause a heat stroke, which can be deadly. We want everyone, I want to stress, everyone to enjoy the sunshine and the beautiful weather this summer. It's been a long time since we've been able to get out and go places and do things that we've all wanted to do for so many months. But we want everyone to enjoy that. But we also want everyone to arrive and get home safely. So our message from Tennessee as far as the Tennessee Highway Safety Office is have a great summer, but drive safely.
Thank you, Director Lewis. Wise words. I appreciate that very much. Next, our next panelist is Lieutenant Colonel James Hutcherson, representing the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Lieutenant Colonel?
Yes, sir. Today, the Tennessee Highway Patrol is joining forces with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and our good friends and partners in the great state of North Carolina in support of this border-to-border campaign to promote safety and awareness throughout the Memorial Day weekend and the rest of the summer. Over the Memorial Day weekend in Tennessee last year, we had 10 fatal crashes. And of those 10 crashes, those resulted in 12 traffic fatalities. In Tennessee, we feel like those are 12 too many. We stand on a drive to zero platform here. So in light of that, we will have all available troopers out working the highways this coming weekend. We'll be partnering with our local law enforcement partners as a force multiplier to promote safety in the communities across the state. We'll be conducting sobriety checkpoints and other checkpoints and saturations in known problem areas to try to promote safety as best we can. You know, the Memorial Day weekend typically kicks off what's unofficially the summer travel season. And it's projected that this year there'll be 37 million travelers out on the roads this weekend. And with that volume of traffic, it enhances the need for partnerships like what you see today with North Carolina and Tennessee. But probably the most important partnership we have is with you, the motoring public. We need your voluntary compliance and we need your help. If you're going to be drinking and driving, if you know you're going to a social event, a sporting event where that's going to be taking place, plan in advance for a sober ride home. It's a responsible thing to do. Tennessee, I want to remind everyone, is a hands-free state. So if you're out on the highways, out driving, put your phone down, be aware of your surroundings, and don't drive distracted. And most importantly, the thing you can do to protect yourself is to buckle up. Buckle up every seat, every trip. And lastly, I want to encourage the motorists, if you see dangerous, erratic behaviors on the highway, star THP, star 847 is an avenue where you can report those dangers directly to one of our 4 communication centers across the state. They've got direct contacts with our troopers out on the highways, and we encourage you to help us by reporting those dangerous actions. Have a safe holiday weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. I very much appreciate those words. It is now my pleasure to introduce your counterpart in North Carolina, Colonel Freddie Johnson, the commander of the North Carolina Highway Patrol. Colonel?
Good morning. I'm Colonel Freddie Johnson, and thank you for having the North Carolina State Highway Patrol as part of this important discussion. It's incredible to see the strong partnerships involved in this traffic safety initiative. Director Ezell, Director Lewis, Lieutenant Colonel Hutcherson, and Dr. Daly, we are honored to work alongside you in this continued effort to save lives. It has always been the mindset of our State Highway Patrol that safety does not start or end at the state line. The consistent enforcement and education by all states undoubtedly pays dividends for all of us. From our coast to our mountains, we are uniquely fortunate as a state to be a destination for so many visitors, and that is especially apparent in the summer months. Our continued expectation for our members is that to be a part of that, be an ambassador for our state, and the ultimate goals of ambassadors is we can ensure that the residents and visitors alike can enjoy our many destinations with the expectation of safe travel on our roadways. Oftentimes, our presence alone is enough of a deterrent to ensure drivers operate at a safe speed, avoid distractions, and wear their seatbelts. I can assure you that we remain committed to decreasing collisions through our presence and our educational means on US 129, but we also stand ready to be that enforcement component for those who don't heed the warnings. The lives of millions of roadway users in our state and across state lines are at stake, and we join with first responders, medical professionals, and all roadway users in saying we are committed to no lives being lost on our roadway. Please join us in this commitment, a commitment to obey the speed limit, avoid distractions, and always wearing your seatbelt. Thank you once again for having me today. We are very appreciative for these strong partnerships that extend across state lines. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. We appreciate those words and the strong partnership that you have shown with our office in so many of these efforts. Our final panelist today is Dr. Brian Daly. Dr. Daly is the Chief of Trauma and Critical Care Surgery at the University of Tennessee Medical Center, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the medical consequences that he sees when people do not obey traffic laws. Dr. Daly?
Thank you, Director Ezell. I'd also like to thank the other officers and agencies that promote safety across our state borders. Our trauma center serves the 21 counties in East Tennessee, as well as that region in North Carolina where the dragon lives. We must remember that our officers not only act as enforcement agents, but primary directors of safety. That is their goal. They also serve as primary first responders in such a desolate and remote area as the Dragon. The beauty of the Dragon, the lack of buildings and infrastructure makes it beautiful, but it also makes it difficult for our EMS crews to get there. And so people have to learn that the officers are there to protect them and to promote safety. The most important safety device in any motorized vehicle is the driver, is the operator. And as our other speakers have mentioned, it's very important for the driver to take advantage of the responsibilities and duties that they have in driving. The first one is to share the road. And for this weekend, we have to be very observant of motorcycles. There'll be lots and lots of motorcycles out. So we want to make sure we share the road and always look twice for motorcycles. We always want to avoid distractions. And as we've talked about, hands-free rules, and both states have been very progressive in their approach through the legislature to promote safety in driving. Simply put, for our other components, it's slow down, phone down, buckle up, and eyes up, avoiding distractions. Although there's beautiful scenery, we want you to pay attention on the road. And just as social distancing has improved our outcomes with COVID, we want people to socially distant on the road. That is, leave plenty of room, slow down. When we're traveling 30 miles an hour, that's 44 feet per second. You need that cushion of space and time to recognize a problem, come up with a solution that's safe, and then affect that solution. Across this summer, we will see the gamut of injuries from the tail of the Dragon. Most of our motorcyclists need to wear their protective gear. They don't have the benefit of that steel surrounding them. So helmets, riding gear, boots, gloves, they're paramount if you're going to ride in East Tennessee and actually all across both states. Lastly, I'd like to remind people that because the tail of the Dragon is so remote, we need all drivers engaged in promoting safety. And if there is a wreck, remember, as we follow the rules in programs such as Stop the Bleed, and the first thing to do is alert the system, call 911, get the experts there. Next thing is to promote bleeding and control of the scene. So exposing injuries, direct pressure, tourniquets when needed. Again, I'd like to thank all the agencies from Tennessee and North Carolina who participate. Our primary goal is to prevent injuries, and these resources and services, that's our primary goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. We appreciate those wise words and the words of all of our panelists, and ask now that our panelists cut their webcams back on as we conclude. Let me just say that these efforts as we begin our spring and summer vacations are very important. Many of our citizens are frankly a little rusty on the rules of the road over the past 18 months. Hopefully this will serve as a refresher and a reminder of the importance of safe driving throughout Western North Carolina and East Tennessee and wherever we go. These cross-border events can really help. Already we've seen in Graham County, working with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, cross-border events there. They've occurred across North Carolina already and will be occurring this week, along with our Click It or Ticket campaign. I'm now going to open any questions up to the media or anyone else who has questions they would like to ask. We ask that you take yourself off of mute and ask any questions at this point that you may have. Anyone? Okay, if not, we want to thank our panelists again for being part of this presentation for Border to Border and highlighting the tail of the Dragon, a unique spot in this part of the country. And we want to thank everyone for their partnership and encourage everyone to be safe during the course of this Memorial Day. Thank you again and have a wonderful, safe Memorial Day.
Thank you, Director Ezel.
Thank you.